Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine for the equine athlete. And the Constellations Carnival is officially underway this weekend. Saturday night, we've got some great racing coming through from Albion Park. 3 features on the card, including the Queensland Sun, the Tony Vivas Memorial Trot, and the Flashing Red, the stand-start race over the journey of 2680 metres, last year won by Leap to Fame. All 3 features are going to be keenly contested here on Saturday night, and what a program that we have in total. It is a fantastic card. The Janitor steps out in race 2 earlier in the week, invited and accepted for the Rising Sun, and so too the 3-year-olds who go head-to-head in the 3-year-old Open in race 9. Rubira the Kiwi up against the reigning Australian 2-year-old of the year in Fade Away, who was awesome, winning first up last week after sitting park. So it's a fantastic night of racing this Saturday night. We've got 10 races coming our way, and in this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to speak with Angus, Garrard and Layne Dwyer. Night 1 of the Constellations for 2025 this Saturday night at Albion Park. 10-race program, cracking card, quality everywhere. Angus Garrard, first cab off the rank. He's going to join us for Weekend Winners, and he's with us now. Angus, appreciate the time.
Not a problem at all, Chris. Thanks for having me.
It is a super program this weekend.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a great time of year up here. You know, this next 6 weeks will be really strong, and starting to see some real firepower step out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go through your book of drives here on Saturday night. Race 1, number 5, Still Rolling. First time sitting behind this guy. What are the expectations?
Look, I think he's been racing really well. I think you can probably put a pen through last start. He sort of got off the track in that really fast last quarter. Before that, I thought his previous 2 runs were sort of full of merit. Probably just comes up with a little bit of a sticky draw here again over the middle trip.
So, first thought, are you likely to roll forward, try and get handy here from this gate?
Oh, look, I think it'll come down to tempo, you know, without having sort of spoken to connections. I think it'll probably be a tempo thing. If they go too hard, I don't think he's a horse that you want to do too much with. But, you know, I think if we could get handy sort of cheap enough, I think that'd be ideal.
Pegs are worth everything at Albion Park, in particular on the Saturday night circuit. Does that mean My Alderman, Buddha and Master Charles look the hardest to beat here?
Yeah, for sure. They both come up with sort of the most positive draws, and like you say, on the pegs is always a bonus.
Okay. He was impressive still rolling 3 starts ago when he was able to win. He rated good time and he looked comfortable doing it.
Yeah, he was really good, and I thought his next run was good too when he had to do a bit of work. And like I say, last week, just sort of nothing went his way. He got back and wide a little bit when they sort of zipped up. So I think he's in good form. I just don't know whether the draw really suits.
Okay. What about race 2? Keen to get your thoughts here. Former Perth pacer, storyteller, not ideal, gate 7, first look at Albion Park. And you've got to go up against some pretty strong types here in the likes of the Janitor and Rip. But his overall record's impressive. Do you have any sort of expectations here first up for him?
Oh, look, I certainly think he'll race good. Like you say, it's a really strong lineup. But like you say, his form's good. His trial here was really good last week, I thought. You know, he zipped up a really strong half, went 57 here at Redcliffe. So I think he should have taken quite a bit of an improvement off that. And I think he should race good on Saturday night. We just need a little bit of luck.
Okay. Just going back to that trial at Redcliffe, you chased home Captain's Mistress there, so you were chasing a quality filly.
Yeah, that's right. You know, she's sort of well performed on sort of a stakes level. So it was good to sort of see where he's at there. And like I say, I'm sure he'll improve. And it's probably a good race just to suss out where he's at.
Okay, you combined earlier in the week with Ron and Stacey Sellers with another former Perth pacer, Prince of Pain. So hopefully this guy might be able to do a similar job.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can double up.
All right. What about in race 3, the first of our features, the Queensland Sun? In excess, you know this horse well. He's back behind the mobile here, drawn 2 off the second row. Is he some sort of sneaky chance here?
Yeah, I really think he is, Chris. I thought he was right back to his best last start, even sort of after missing away. Sectionally, he couldn't have been any better chasing, and I didn't really knock him around overly hard. So I think he should have improved off that again, and I think it's quite a nice draw. It just gives us a few little options. Okay,
I wanted to dig down on that a little further. So 2 off the second row. You got the race favourite Part the Greatness Gate 1, Charge Ahead, high quality 4-year-old, drawn directly behind him. So you can sort of weigh it up early. 3 fence or hold your spot in the moving line.
Yeah, that's right. We can just see what happens. Again, it's probably going to be sort of tempo based. We just sort of got to see who leaves hard and how hard they actually leave before we make up our mind where we want to be.
It looks a really even race on paper. Does that mean it's going to generate good tempo?
Oh, you would think so. Sort of, particularly with that ticket to the Rising Sun on the line, you'd think everyone will want to be sort of quite positive. So it's a really strong lineup across the board and a really deep field. So it'll certainly be a good race.
Okay, a couple of hypotheticals. Do you think Path to Greatness has the speed to lead from the inside?
Yeah, he probably does, to be honest. I think he gets out good enough on what we've seen. Sort of, if we see Grant pump him up a little bit and really bust him out of there, I think he can hold up.
Okay, if you're going to the inside and say you're sitting 3 fence, would you be disappointed if he doesn't run top 5?
Oh, yeah, look, if we're getting to the lane with momentum from 3 fence, I'd be surprised if he doesn't earn some good money.
Okay. Well, that's the Queensland Sun. Your drive in excess there. What about in race 4, Tony Viva's Memorial Trot? You're driving Darcy's Fireball. He's got Barrier 1. It's a mobile start, but you're up against some quality performers here, the likes of Oscar Bonavina, Gus, and Not As Promised. How do you rate your chances here?
Oh, look, it's a super strong race, and it's his first real step into this company, but he's a horse that's shown really good ability all the way through. We've probably just got to be a little careful with him off the gate, I think, at this stage. So hopefully we sort of don't lob too far back and we might be able to pick up some money somewhere.
Okay. On his day, he's a pretty quick horse, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. He's always sort of shown quite good speed from what I've seen, and when his manners are on, he seems quite talented, but it's probably a case of he's just got to season up to sort of these Saturday night grade trotters.
Okay. Oscar Bonavina, he looked good in that recent trial there at Albion Park. He's going to be something to watch there on Saturday night, isn't he? He might just confirm outright favouritism for the Inter-Dominion Trotters series.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting, him up against Gus, and then you got Not As Promised coming back from New Zealand, so... it'll be sort of really interesting to see where they line up sort of leading into the Interdom.
Okay, race number 5. This is the Mares Open. You've picked up the drive on Lulu May. Her past couple of runs have been good. I thought she was brave last time out. How do you rate her chances?
Yeah, no, I think she's in with quite a shot here, Chris. Like you say, her form's been good for quite a while, and I can't see why that won't continue. I think she should be able to find the pegs in this race on Saturday night, so... from there, I think she'll take a bit of beating.
I tell you what, they've picked the right mares open. They don't have to go up against the likes of Chinchilla, the Vicar of Dibley, or Riley Rainbow. It's a good mares open to be in.
Yeah, that's right. She's certainly well placed, so hopefully we can use that to her advantage and we'll be positive, and I'm sure she'll run a bold race.
She's been a great improver this year, Lulu May, and she's capable of running time when she can find the peg line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What about Ragazzo Di Tilly for the stable here, for the family in the flashing red? He's in sparkling form. There's no question about that. The stand start and the start in particular. How do you think this plays out?
Look, I think we'll be okay ourselves getting away, Chris. He's probably not a horse that might stand overly pretty, but he's sort of one that hits the ground running and seems to hit his straps quick. So he was really good in that trial. He was a little slow, but he sort of went from 0 to 100 in 2 steps. So I'm confident, even if he's a little slow, he'll pick up really quick. So as long as we get away, I think he's in with a real shot. Okay.
He seems like he's a well-balanced horse and an intelligent horse. So the fact that he mightn't look pretty there at the start, he will hit the ground, and he'll hit the ground running quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you've got good speed to your inside. Aroda's a very fast beginner. He's drawn in 2. Al Vincent can go. That they reckon he can step quickly. So where would you like to be soon after the start? Would you like to be in the top 6 going into that into the back straight for the or into the front straight for the first time?
Oh yeah, ideally if we could be in that sort of top 4 to 6, that'd be perfect. Sort of field position's critical in these sort of races, and they're always quite tactical, these stand starts over the 26th this time of year. So hopefully we can get away well, posse up handy, and sort of presenting at the right time.
Okay. How much confidence do you think he gained from that victory last time out?
Yeah, no, I think it did him good, Chris. I think he's right in the zone at the moment, and sort of he's still on the way up. So his work's been super since. He just feels like he's really ready to go.
Okay, so if he comes through this race well, does that mean we're automatically going to the Redcliffe Cup?
Yeah, it probably just sort of depends what happens, to be honest. I don't sort of know where he'd get to if he happened to win it, but, if he won this race and it sort of boosted his Inter-Dominion ranking enough that he could sneak in there, we'll probably just sort of aim at that. But, barring that, we'll sort of come through this race and then head for Redcliffe.
All right, he'd be a deserving winner, whether it's this week, the Flashing Red, or the Redcliffe Cup. He deserves to get a good one.
Yeah, he does. He's sort of been in all the dog fights the last couple of years. He's sort of raced all the good ones in his age group. So I think he's ready to step into this open grade.
All right, well, we wish you all the best of luck there with Ragazzo Di Tilly. Let's go across to Race 8. This is the mare's Quali. Sweet Options. You've been with this mare at a past couple now. She's got a nice trailing draw here on the weekend. Do you think she rates in this field?
Yeah, I think she does, Chris. It's sort of a lot more positive draw for her this week to be sort of to the second line, and she looks to get a nice trip through there in a race that probably looks like it could generate a bit of tempo. Okay,
you're up against Captain's Mistress, so you got a really good look at her in that recent trial. Is she just better than these Captain's Mistress?
Oh, look, she probably is. But, in saying that, she's sort of only a 3-year-old filly, isn't she? So it'll be interesting to see where she lines up and how these ones line up against her.
Okay. What about this 3-year-old Open on Saturday night, race 9? You're down to drive I Got Chills. They're talking it up as a match race between Ribera and Fate Awaits. I Got Chills. Can he run third?
Yeah, I can't see why not, Chris. I think he's sort of shown improvement through each of his runs, and he'll probably sort of continue to improve sort of heading into sort of some of the bigger races like the Redcliffe Derby and things like that. So if we can sort of posse up handy enough, which I think we can from the draw, I think he can be thereabouts.
What are your expectations map-wise here? Ribera in front, Fate Awaits outside him. Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I can't really see Grant sort of getting too aggressive off the arm. I would have thought he'd probably just be happy to stroll across the same as last week. So hopefully we can posse up on his back.
Okay, and then run third. That'll be a good result there. What about the last race on Saturday night? Kiang Omar, he's up here on this campaign for trainer Luke Bryan, and he's going along particularly well. This looks a nice trailing draw for him inside of the second row behind I'm Boo, who's fit and in form.
Yeah, that's right. It looks a really sort of positive setup there for us on Saturday night. His run was good at Redcliffe last night, so I can't see why he won't race well again on the weekend. Okay,
do you think I'm Boo will be the leader of this field?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? So, you would think the tempo will be genuine and we should have the perfect trip.
Okay, so just on his Redcliffe efforts, is he ready to step up to Albion Park under the bright lights there?
Yeah, I think he is. He sort of felt good enough that I can't see why it'll bother him. He seems to sort of handle following speed good, so I guess we'll see on Saturday night.
Yeah, he's a versatile type.
He certainly is.
Yeah. Okay, which is the pick of your drives coming up on the weekend?
Look, I'm really looking forward to Ragazzo Di Tilly stepping into the open grade in the Flashing Red, so go with him.
All right, race 6, number 4, Ragazzo Di Tilly. As always, Angus, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries. Thanks, Chris.
The Constellations officially starting this weekend at Albion Park. Friday night heats the APG Series, and then on Saturday night we've got feature racing. It's a really good program coming through. First driver in the hot seat this week is young Layne Dwyer, and he joins us now. Layne, appreciate the time.
No, thanks for having me, Chris.
It's a good night of racing this weekend.
Yeah, very good. Very good horses going around, and it should be a good night.
Okay, and I think that's going to be the trend over the next couple of weeks. We start in race 1. Your first drive is Last Time Joe. Now, you've been with this guy at his past couple of starts now. He's going well. He's just having no luck, whether it be luck in running or barrier draws.
Yeah, he's actually been going really good. Like you said, just the barrier draws are really killing him at the moment, but he's knocking on the door for when he does get a good draw, and I'm sure he'll be there when he's drawn handy.
Was it mixed emotions when you laid eyes on the field? You saw Last Time Joe, you saw your name against him, and then you're thinking, what draw? Gate 7. Then you've just thought, you can't be serious.
Yeah, I'm sort of numb to it now, seeing him drawn 7, but yeah, it's a shame. When he drew, I think he drew 3 or 4, he was able to lead up, and they went 51, and he went super. But he just needs one of them draws again.
Okay, so from gate 7, are you just going back, cop your medicine, and then hopefully, luck plays out and you can finish strongly at the end?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd have to talk to Naresso about it, but there's not much you can do from out there, and he doesn't have brilliant gate speed, so it sort of makes it hard.
Okay, and just looking at this potential race setup, it looks like it could be leader dominated here. My Alderman Buddha maybe has the speed. Looks likely that he's got the speed to lead. So if he's in front rolling along, which he can do, it can make it difficult for you.
Yeah, very. But hopefully the right things happen and we can pick up a check somewhere.
Okay. Well, that's last time Joe in race 1. Love Bite was meant to be your drive in race 2. He's out. We'll get to him later because he's now secured a start in the flashing red. What about the Queensland Sun? You're on the emergency. Lenny Lincoln here. If he gets a start, is he a minor place hope?
Yeah, I think so. He's actually been going really well, a lot better than what his form says. He's a real handy horse. He just needs the right luck at the right time, and he makes the most of it.
Okay, his last start, 4th. It was an eye-catching run. He found the line well.
Yeah, exactly. He had to come from last and was pretty much paying the outside fence in the last corner. But every start now, he seems to be getting better and more fitter and feeling a bit sharper.
Okay. What about in race 4? This is one of the features on Saturday night, the Tony Vivas Memorial Trot. So this will be near and dear to your heart and the family's heart. Eurocash is your drive, the former Kiwi trotter. Were you happy with that first up run?
Yeah, I was really happy with him. They went, pretty solid time, and I didn't really know what to expect. But yeah, I couldn't be much happier with him, to be honest. He fought right out to the line and only just getting beat.
Okay. On that occasion, he started off a second row draw, so he moves to the front row here on Saturday night. What can we expect gate speed-wise?
I'm not too sure how much gate speed he's got. He just sort of look after him and touch at the start, so hopefully, he's got a bit of easy, comfortable speed, and hopefully we can get somewhere handy at the start.
Okay, the fact that you are drawn 2, you're immediately in the moving line, so that seems like it's a perfect draw.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have got a better draw, but hopefully he gets out of the gate well without having to look after him too much.
All right, this is the inaugural running of the Tony Vivas Memorial. It's an outstanding lineup when you consider Oscar Bonavina's here, the millionaire trotter. Gus is probably our number 1 trotter, and your guy, not as promised, he's right there in the contention as well, so it's a great lineup.
Yeah, real strong field. Hopefully not as promised, gets the job done for him, but it's, going to be a big task.
Yeah. Again, not an ideal draw.
No, definitely not, no.
All right, but you're expecting Eurocash to be solid again. The form out of that first up run looks like it's going to hold up.
Yeah, his work's been a lot sharper this week, actually, so hopefully he improves a bit, but he's going to have to improve a lot against them ones.
Okay, let's go across to race 6, another feature here. This is the listed flashing red. Lovebite has secured a start, the scratching of Hector here. So what are the expectations with Lovebite in the flashing red?
Just sort of drive him quiet and hopefully pick up a check somewhere, I think. It's just a real hard field for him, and he's been going real well. Last week he went super, so hopefully he keeps that up.
All right. Now the stand start itself, there's no issue there?
No, we've had to put shorteners in him. He just sort of began too good for himself, I suppose. He sort of wanted to go too quick and it would roll out of him. Last week he stepped good, and hopefully he'll be even better again this week.
Okay, start's going to be crucial here, and you're right in the middle. So does that make it easier, or does that make it a little bit trickier?
It all depends on how he gets away. If he gets away good, then, at least we're close enough to him. But if he sort of gets a bit rough away, then it makes it pretty hard.
Okay, it's a capacity-sized field, 14 to do battle here. You can make cases for most here. What race do you reckon looked easier, going up against the Janitor and Rip or tackling the flashing red?
Possibly the flashing red, just being a stand. Because he does get away pretty good, but they're both just hard races for him.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's Lovebite. And what about in the last race here on Saturday night? Pet Kitty. Is she up to taking this Quali B pace?
I wouldn't be surprised. I know she's got the ability to. I think she's getting back to her old form. She went super last night. But, yeah, I can't see why she won't.
Okay, what are the early thoughts here? Are you driving it for speed, or are you just going to drive it for one run?
I think we're going to have to go forward at the gate, get handy enough, and where we end up, I think just let the race run itself after that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind either being in front or in the chair with her. I think that's a better way of driving her.
Okay, has she got the speed to clear? Because those to your inside look like they can get off the gate pretty quick.
Yeah, I reckon she could if I really opened her up, but whether I really want to open her up is probably another story. Yeah, you just don't want to be burning too hard at the start, that's all.
Okay, so hopefully with a little bit of luck, you won't be too far away. Which drive are you most looking forward to?
Best chance, I'd have to say, probably Pet Kitty, yeah.
Yeah, Pet Kitty. We'll be patient, wait for the last. Race 10, number 5, Pet Kitty. Hey, Layne, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
As per normal, a big thanks to our 2 drivers this week, Angus Garrard and Layne Dwyer, wishing them all the very best of luck. Like I said, 10 races on Saturday night, our first race, getting underway at 5:10. Looking for a good gamble at this program, I think we strike early. Race 1, number 8, Master Charles. Going well, eye-catching run last week. Yes, he followed the fence home, but I think it's going to be a similar scenario again this weekend. Drawn behind the likely leader, in my opinion, and my Alderman Buddha. And if he's in a good spot, hopefully leader's back. First use of the sprint lane, home he goes. So race 1, number 8, Master Charles, making him our good bet this weekend. If you are gambling, please do so responsibly. Like I said at the start, the constellations for 2025 officially underway this weekend. It's a cracking night on Saturday night. Looking forward to seeing you trackside.